Right, we had that situation last week where we had a bit of flooding in the hothouse. So we're going to go in and see how it's looking now and what I've done to prevent it happening again. So the water level has subsided. That was, just the ground level rising up just due to the fact we had so much rain from the last storm. We probably had about 4 inches plus of water in here, so that was a concern. Well, I just sort of did panic when I first see it, but we'll have a look at the plants in a minute and see what's going on. But so we can see we've got a pile of sandy stones there, and I've cut a little trap door, if you like, in the astroturf or fake grass. This is where the bottom drain was for the pond. This was the pond originally, and then what I've simply done is I've submerged a pump in the bottom drain in there. We can still see as the water level is about 2-3 inches underneath the level of this sunken area. But yeah, so we've got the bottom drain there with a 4-inch pipe going out to the side and coming up outside the back wall there. So I've fed the power line to the pump and the piping out through there and out to a drain. So all I've got to do is, if we did get the same scenario again, I mean, it's happened once, so it could happen again. I'm not saying we get extreme storms like that every year, but we are quite dry here in general on the east coast. But if it happens again, all I've got to do is flick a switch and that'll pump the water out. So hopefully we won't have the same situation again. So that is what it is. So I can just flap that back, and I'll probably put some Velcro strip around that just to keep that in position so that you wouldn't really notice us there. So yeah, in general, not really any big deal. It's dried out in here. We had some lucky weather last week that the sun was out. Even though it's cold, the sun was out, so it did warm up in here and sort of dried things out a little bit. So like I say, most of the stuff on the floor is sort of hardy stuff anyway, so it's not going to suffer from being submerged for a couple of days in water. The only things that I did have to move, so we've got a big queen palm in a pot here, so I did raise that up on blocks just to get it out of the water. So that's still looking fine at the moment, but it's still early days, so we'll see if that'll take any damage because of the damp roots. Hopefully we won't get any root rot on that. But yeah, so all the sort of wet, cold sensitive stuff is on benches, so that was never a problem. All the palms that want to be kept a bit drier, they're all fine. They're raised up, not a problem. So yeah, we're just like I say, on ground level, the stuff that was submerged. We've got some cord lines here and some formiums. This stuff that would be outside in the garden anyway, so they'd have damp roots in winter. What I did have to do also, we've got this Nico palm here, so I did block that up, raised it up on blocks, and all the bromeliads that were on the floor I just put on the seating area here for now. So they got submerged, but drying out, and they're pretty tough, so hopefully they should be okay. Yeah, so my main concern was this permanent planting, because a lot of this stuff is going to have sensitive roots to damp and cold. But as we can see, I mean, this is still amazing me that a lot of these collocaceae kept their foliage when we've been having temperatures. When it's sunny, it does warm up to an extent, 10 or 12 degrees maybe during the day, but at night, we're still getting quite cool temperatures in here, so it's not heated as such. So we're still, the lowest we've had in the last month is 3.7 degrees, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, also the other thing that could have been a concern was that we had obviously electrics in here with the heating, but my electric switch box is on the wall there, so that's well above ground level. All the electrics is well above normal ground level, not floor level in here. And the heater is on the chair there, and I will say it's only come on twice when we had that cold patch last year, so we haven't actually had any cold patches this year up until now, so this is going to be the first frost tonight of the year. But yeah, so this is how stuff's looking. I've had to cut through the leaves back a little bit because you start to get a bit of mold around the edges, so anything that's still green and looking half decent I've kept. So we've got some misshapen leaves where I've just cut them back. But yeah, some of them are still looking fine. That's the Jack's Giant, so that is probably a little bit hardier than some, but surprisingly the Thai Giant is still kept a leaf. Did have to cut one back on this one. That's the Thai Giant. The Marigold, yeah, we've got some spot and some tatty leaves, but until they start going mouldy I'll keep them on, because it's actually, we're even pushing out a little pup there. Yeah, so things in general looking okay. I mean, even some of the alocasias, which are a bit more cold sensitive maybe than the colocaceas, but because they've got thicker leaves they don't tend to degrade so quick in the cool. So if we can keep a couple of green leaves on these all winter, that'd be ideal. So again here, these are looking pretty much untouched from the cold winter weather we've had, so that's good. Yeah, some of the colocaceas have gone downhill, so we have got some bad leaves on this. This is the Redemption, so at this point they're not mouldy, but they're definitely could do with coming off. But again, if we can just keep the stem to a point where it's not going to rot away, then that should pump straight back into growth when we come into spring in a month or two. But some of these plants have surprised me. Yeah, so we've got some calatheas in here, which you wouldn't think would be that tough, but they're still looking pretty green at the minute. We've got some insect damage on some, but the leaves aren't looking too bad. Another one that's really surprised me actually is the White Fusion. That seems to be holding up pretty well at the moment. Calathea Tristar, tricolour is still looking good. So got some of the begonias still going. Yeah, even the tropical cordlines are still looking good at the moment, so it is surprising. But yeah, I mean, it's still early days. This was submerged this time just a couple of days ago, really. I mean, there's water at floor level for a good 3 or 4 days, so you may well get a bit of root rot on some of these plants, but again, a lot of it is raised up, so as long as that doesn't sort of spread too much, you might lose a few roots. But again, as soon as things start warming up, hopefully in the next well, couple of months I suppose, before we start getting spring, but yeah, hopefully they can hold on just long enough to get back into growth. Yeah, so I don't really need to go into too many more plants. Another one has sort of surprised me is this variegated ginger, shell ginger. That's still looking pretty good. So yeah, I'm hopeful that most things will pretty much stay. I didn't really expect, especially the collocaceous with their delicate leaves, to last this long. But if we can just keep to a point where, you know, if we do lose the leaves and just keep the stem, at least the next leaf will be ready to pop as soon as it do warm up. Right, so yeah, it looked bad at the time, and I do thank everyone for their messages and encouragement for you know, not panic too much, which I didn't. The situation is resolved, so I've just got to tidy up now. So we did have a lot of muck, like I say, that we had to dig out just to get to that bottom drain, but I'll put a nice cover over that so we don't really notice the dip in the ground there. I'll cover that and pad it out. So yeah, so hopefully it will be sort of unnoticeable, and just hoping in the next couple of months, you know, with the increase of daylight now and the season, I know we're only, you know, bang in the middle of winter at the moment, but spring's only around the corner, and like I say, with the increase of daylight now, it's feeling like, you know, we've turned the corner now and we're heading in the right direction. Right, we will leave it there. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.